What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another episode of Why You Should Love with me, TheLonesomeRavidor. Today we are doing Why You Should Love The Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion. Now, I do love this game, I really do. It's definitely a classic of mine, especially when it comes down to the PS3 genre. Anyway, let's run through my 5 reasons as to why you should love the game. Number 1, when this game came out on the PlayStation and the Xbox 360, it was definitely a game which kind of set the whole graphics kind of genre. As in, this game was kind of fantastic, wasn't it? Kind of, it fully was really fantastic for what it was altogether. I mean, when the game came out, it was the graphics were astonishing. I mean, in comparing this to Skyrim currently, I mean, Skyrim's got absolutely superior, but I mean, for what it was back then, and the PS3 was like it was new to us. I mean, Skyrim was one of the newer, like, more fantastic, beautiful games we found, and it was amazing. We were mind blown by how beautiful this game truly was. And it's fantastic. The whole scenery is amazing. And it's just a fantastically beautiful game, and that you cannot knock it for that at all. I mean, obviously, time has changed. The game itself is still a fantastic game, and still a fantastic looking game as well. So really, that's definitely a good reason to love it, is because of the fact that it's it's kind of a very landmarky game. It's sort of a landmark for what PlayStation could be and what it has become altogether. And obviously Xbox as well, and PC and all that. But a PC was pretty far superior anyway, and it probably looks a lot better on PC anyway. But I'm talking from a PS3 perspective. Okay, let's move on to my second point. Now, the game, a lot of people did criticize the whole Elder Scrolls series kind of for this. Personally, I've only ever really been a fan of Skyrim and Oblivion. I've never really gone back and played Morrowind or Arena or the rest of them. I've never really played the other ones at all. And personally, I will eventually, but I mean, I just really haven't got around to doing it. But back in those days, I'm not too sure if they had the same problem, but these days, Skyrim and Oblivion often get criticised for their combat system. Personally, I don't agree with that. The combat itself is a very simple and easy to use concept. It really is. I mean, you can never be too underpowered, but you can also never be too overpowered, unless you get like the best weapons in the game. And even then, some of the enemies can really mess you up if you get groups of them or anything. Or say if you want to up your chances and do higher difficulties. Although in the end, it does sometimes become that you do face an enemy so tough that you won't find the easiest ledge to get onto, and then just filling any tough enemy in which you can full of arrows so that you finally win the battle without having to fully face them on. But I mean, the combat itself is still quite a very solid and steady thing, and very good altogether. I think it's honestly a good point to love the game, because the fact that it was kind of groundbreaking, not even groundbreaking, the whole concept before that was on the other the other Elder Scrolls game, and Elder Scrolls games. And yeah, it's just a cool little combat system. I think it's quite a good, enjoyable kind of combat system altogether. Anyway, let's move on to my third point. When it came down to this game coming out, the game was actually released by a company, well, developed by a company called Bethesda. And a lot of people know this game, the company now, as in for the makers of Fallout, and obviously, to be fair, this was kind of the game that made them, personally. I mean, this is really the game that kind of brought them to light on the whole the new genre of the new age of consoles. I mean, the age of like the 360 and the age of PlayStation 3. This is kind of the game that pushed them up a little bit, I guess. I mean, obviously they've been around ever since the old ones like Morrowind and Arena. Bethesda have always been there and always been like making all these fantastic games. But I mean, this is really the game that pushed them up and pushed them into a new lighting era in a sense. Like, put them finally onto the spotlight which they deserved. Which obviously, although Morrowind and all that were fantastic games, don't get me wrong, but Oblivion is really the one that really pushed it to the new kind of like genre and the new age of people. The game itself really, the company itself at this point really did kind of like remind people on what good games really were, and how free roam games were fantastic, and how this game is really quite a fantastic game altogether. And it pushed it forwards, and people did really enjoy it. And it then gave Bethesda the attention they really needed to then nurture themselves to be making fantastic games as well, like say Fallout 3, and then Fallout New Vegas, and then Oblivion, and then Skyrim as well, and finally The Evil Within, which is coming out soon. I'm so pumped for that. August, yes. And ignoring that, I'm so pumped for that. But they really are a good company, and I think they're a fantastic company for backing this game. And I think, to be fair, if you're a fan of Bethesda, it's definitely a reason to give the game a chance, because it doesn't let down altogether. So I think Bethesda do good in pretty much all the games they do. Anyway, let's move on to my fourth point. When it comes down to the PlayStation 3 and the Xbox 360 console, this was definitely one of the earlier games in which really did kind of show the whole how big maps can be in games. I mean, this was kind of very mind-blowing about how big the map really was. I mean, you sat down, you're like, wow, I need to get from this corner to that corner. How am I going to do that? You just walked. You could go there by horse, walk, fast travel, however you wanted to do, and there'll be things from yay to nay in the middle. There's like different things which you can do, and you get sidetracked and go different ways. It's fantastic. I thought this was a very good, it was definitely one of the first games which I was shown to be very free roam. I mean, ignoring stuff like Dragon Quest and all that, I mean, obviously, they're all very fantastic maps, well, they're huge. I mean, Dragon Quest, But I mean, to be fair, the slowdown of that would be the fact that you have to stop every 2 seconds for monsters. But the game itself really did demonstrate how much the consoles could handle and how big the area in which they could handle together, and it's fantastic. And I think they did a fantastic job, and the map couldn't have been better. Anyway, so as you guys know, I do love my voice actors when it comes down to my Why You Should Love. So I have obviously got to mention this. I love the fact that they're within the game they actually involve different kind of celebrity voice actors, which I really do adore. Like, for example, they used Sean Bean as the voice of Martin Septon, and they used the voice of Patrick Stewart for the voice of Uriel Septon the 7th. Sorry, I've got it on the screen here, so I probably forget the names. And obviously got Terrence Stamp as Mankar Cameron, which I don't fully know who that is, but Terrence Stamp is a guy from Wanted, which is the main thing I really know him from, because I can't think off the top of my head where he's from. But yeah, and I think it's quite cool that they use different voice actors. I love the way Bethesda love to use their celebrity voice actors, such as the way in like Fallout 3, they got Liam Neeson. Wow, I can't remember anyone else is in it. Well, I mean, they got Fallout, and Fallout 3 they got Liam Neeson. In Fallout New Vegas they had Zachary Levi, Danny Trejo. Oh, flipping it, Matthew Perry. Oh wow, why can I not remember any of them? Wow, that's terrible. I used to like know these off the top of my head, but okay. Yeah, I mean Matthew Perry, and obviously back in Dishonored they had Chloe Grace Moretz, the one that did the voice, that played the lady from Star Wars. I can't remember her name. But yeah, anyway, they had all these different kind of people in there, and Bethesda love using their celebrities for their games, and I think it's awesome, to be fair, because it makes a very personal engagement, because you obviously know who the voices are. And yeah, I think it's quite a cool little nifty thing, and yeah, so yeah, if that doesn't really reason to love the game, you can follow your favourite celebrities onto different games. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I'm TheLonesomeRavidor once again. You guys have been beautiful, and I hope you guys have enjoyed this episode of Why You Should Love, and I'll see you in the next episode of Why You Should Love. Thank you very much for watching once again. I'm TheLonesomeRavidor, and you guys have been beautiful once again. I will see you in the next one. See you later, ladies and gentlemen. Goodbye. Watch out.